Okay, everyone, soapbox time over. Soap on Tommy's hair has now begun, I suppose. Welcome back. Let's talk second edition, shall we? We've seen a couple of exciting, I guess I can't really call them tables, lists, I guess? Yeah, I like the term lists. For Pathfinder 2nd Edition, some of the things I liked the least about the playtest are getting a bit of a facelift, which is great. And we're here to break it down for you. If you're liking what you're seeing, like, subscribe, and jing that bell. For more of your Pathfinder 2nd Edition content, we've got, 3 weeks, I think. I'm not looking at a calendar right now. Yes, I am. I have a Fitbit now. I'm so cool. Why won't it change? My Fitbit is horrible. About 3 weeks until Pathfinder 2nd Edition drops. First and foremost, the day of, you will receive an episode of Min-Maxing for Fun and Profit, and probably some, Forgotten Race review too. This time it's personal. I don't know. I haven't come up with a sweet title for that yet. In the comments, please, help you boy. But as of right now, the patrons get to choose the first thing that we're optimizing. Remember that patronage at any tier gets you a lot of sweet content, and if you'd like to vote in on that, Patreon link right down there. Today, this episode of your Pathfinder 2nd Edition content was brought to you in part by one of my patrons who's been, the realist with me in his time, which has been a while. That, of course, is to say Mr. Nick Cirillo. Nick has shot straight with me since the beginning. Hey, I don't like this. You could do it a little better this way, though. Hey, what if you tried doing something a little different? Things like that. I can definitively say BDG is not as much of a one-man army anymore with, my polycule and my friends and stuff, weighing in. But patrons like Nick are my preferred patrons because, that's a definitive demographic. Hey, I like this, but it could be better like that. So please, all of you, your opinions are great. Give them to me. I'm inviting the trolls at this point. Anyway, whatever. Nick, thank you for your support, my friend. Now let's hit it. But don't hit it too hard. You'll break this statue of petrified Sayoni. I haven't petrified anybody in a long time. I need to work on that. Anyway, first up on the chopping block today is Exploration. As you guys know, Exploration mode was a mode of the Pathfinder playtest that I thought was kind of unnecessary. To be honest with you, I might just need to see the people behind it, like the Paizo devs, play out an AP that has some exploration time before I can really wrap my head around it. But some of my issues with it have been alleviated with the update. In my experience with Exploration mode, a lot of times characters that weren't made for survival or some kind of tracking or some such, they had nothing to do. And then Soap would be salty when they're just kind of sitting around doing nothing, or when they would try to make knowledge checks or something, they'd be fatigued after. Of course, as we've already seen, if you're expert or better in a skill, you essentially get an aid another to help the people who aren't good at stuff, which is great for stealth challenges and things. But what I want to talk about is this list here. Skill exploration activities that we didn't see before. I like this because a lot of this stuff would take place in I won't say downtime, because downtime is a thing, but in between adventures or during daily preparations. Namely, borrow an arcane spell, using Arcana to prepare a spell from someone else's spellbook. Now, this didn't take a check before. It took, read magic and have two people with a similar spell list in the party. I'm not looking at it right now. I may misremember. I think it was the Magus could get a spell from the wizard, but not the other way. But it would take time. Those two players would have to, stop and compare notes, and also were incredibly scary if they were to prep together and suddenly have double the spells. Doing it in exploration mode does help expedite things, get things a little more quickly to the moving around tokens in the dungeon bit, to say nothing of an encounter. Same is true for things like treat wounds, repair. All of this stuff was normally stuff we'd have to almost set up camp for. To hold on, we gotta do a thing. Putting it in exploration mode means we can do it as the token is moving on the world map. Next up, we have a full list of conditions that appear in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and there's a lot of them. As I glance over this list, I see that Clumsy is now a condition, which makes sense. That's probably our dex damaged thing. Of course, we talked about Doomed. Tonberry's all over 2nd Edition, I suppose. Helpful and hostile are now conditions, which I guess makes diplomacy a little more quantified. Not a bad thing. quick is now called quickened, which I guess I like a little better. I'm so quick was kind of a weird way to phrase it, I guess. Of course, we still have access to everyone's favorite condition. Oh, is it Dumbledore or Dan Donegan? We'll Hermione Granger this time. We'll take the path less traveled, and we see the stupefied condition still exists, of course. Now we also see a lot more conditions applied to the stealthy characters. Unnoticed, undetected, observed, concealed. Codifying that out, of course, makes stealth in combat a little, faster to run, so I'm okay with this. Here's hoping confused wasn't as scary as it was in the playtest. I think that killed more things in my playtest group than anything else, pretty much. What can I say? Sea serpents and star spawns are both heckin' rude. We've got more stuff on downtime activities as well. Though none of that is really, super new or anything we haven't talked about, but we do see a couple of new magic items. Let's break those down real quick, shall we? First up, Storm Flash. A +2 greater striking shock rapier with golden blade and a bunch of static running along it. That sounds safe. Yes, give that to your children. Nothing could go wrong. And when it's out of its sheath under an open sky, the blade causes storm clouds to gather. The activation looks like it has the command and envision traits, but doesn't really show how many actions does that take? Does that mean you have to take 2, both command and envision? Not super sure. But it does let you play with electricity as a reaction. So this thing is basically just a little sharp lightning rod. Okay, yeah, I can get behind that. That's kind of cool. Once per 10 minutes, once per 100 rounds, once per encounter, basically. With the trigger, an electricity effect targets you or a creature within 10 feet of you, or has a creature within 10 feet of you in its area. Make an attack roll against the DC, probably better than your reflex save if the wizard wants to start chain lightning-ing. Or some other kind of electric effect that hits everybody. Yeah, you can protect yourself. That's neat. To say nothing of, should you go up against a blue dragon and now you just, lightning rod the breath weapon away. Ooh, that's mean. I like that. That's super cool. The greater variant exists as well, but let's look at this dread blindfold thing. Tie a blindfold over your eyes and you get a +3 item bonus to intimidation checks and dark vision. What? But you can't see. I don't understand. Okay, sure. Great. Oh, no, never mind. As I read literally to the next sentence, gee, I'm so great at this. You can see through the blindfold, but only using dark vision. The first time a particular creature sees you in a day, it must succeed a DC 37 will save or be frightened 1 once per minute when you damage a creature as a free action. Oh, Phantasmal Killer. Yeah, that's safe. Sure, we'll take it. And I will leave you guys with this image of all those nerds doing all that nerd stuff. What are we thinking? We still excited? We still here for this Pathfinder 2nd Edition thing? Let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Yes, there's content out for the Impossible Lands right now. We'll get to it. Again, I just really needed to climb on my soapbox for a minute. Sometimes things come out and you gotta speak out about them. And actually, on that note, I'll go ahead and say I've had a couple patrons voice their strong like for our In Defense of the Paid GM video, and that I should do more of it, more Tommy Uncut, I believe is the best way I've seen it phrased. So yeah, maybe not weekly. Let me put my feet in the water on it. We'll see what's up, but it definitely will happen more, and maybe weekly. We'll see. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.